Hello and good evening, everybody. I apologize again for the little blip there. Thought I had everything lined up, and nope, YouTube threw me a curveball again. So I apologize for that. But we are here live. It is our Tuesday night, our AirgunWebTV live. We're going to talk about some cool stuff, and I'll be putting links and other information in the description once we're all done. As always, if you guys would like to join us, please hop in the chat. Throw your questions out there. I do have some things I do want to talk about tonight. So we'll kind of work between your questions and also the various topics we're going to be hitting. First thing, wanted to let everybody know that we are this close to launching our new AirgunWeb.com website. So here's the deal. You guys know that the nature of YouTube and Facebook is tenuous at best with regards to any gun-related content. Now, I mean, I started back with my website, AirgunWeb, and I was writing articles, and that's what really began my career in airguns. And then I transitioned to social media, Facebook and YouTube, for example. That's done really well, but we've had some issues of late where YouTube just will say, hey, we don't like this video, and you can appeal it, and then it may or may not work in your favor at that point. Fortunately, we've been successful on all of our appeals so far, so that's awesome. Facebook is just summarily taking things down, saying you violated this, and then there is no appeal. There's no one you can talk to. There's nothing you can do at all. And these are, gosh, it's crazy stuff from 2+ years ago. A picture, I had a picture of something that wasn't even, I don't know why they would even begin to take it down, but hey, you know, I don't know, a pickle was offensive or whatever the heck it was. I don't know what it was. It was just crazy. Joshua, you know, they are an entity that is a commercial entity, and they're going to, that's owned by people, and people are what they are. All I know that I'm planning to do is insulate myself, my content, and my work from their oversight. So as long as they allow me to post my stuff, there's a huge group of people. You guys watch on YouTube here. You guys look at stuff on Facebook. I'm going to continue to use those mediums as long as they're available. But I've also been working in the background. I should say my wife has been working very hard in the background to rebuild AirgunWeb.com in a new mobile-friendly, modern format. I'll get you there in a second, Paul. In a new modern format that I think is going to be a lot easier for people to use on their phone, watch videos, and so forth. So we're like this close to bringing that back online. We have, it's AirgunWeb.com is there. It's just very old and outdated, and I haven't kept it up. But moving forward, we're going to be keeping that up, and that's going to be, if you guys want to see stuff first, there's a couple ways you can do it. So, and these are entities that either I own or I have a principal ownership or a partnership ownership in. Okay, so AirgunWeb.com, I own it. So if you guys want to see footage, give me a couple weeks, it'll be live again. Before it even hits YouTube or Facebook, it'll publish there first. So that's one. So you've got AirgunWeb.com. We've got Airgun Army, which is a social media platform that I started. It is free. Join it, have fun, communicate with each other. There's some new members that came on here in the last few days. So hi, new members. I will go and say hello to everybody. Hi there, Gary. And then there is Gateway to Airguns. And that is really, I want to talk a little bit about that whole platform, because that is where I'm going to really be investing a lot of my time and energy and moving my content to. We created, I said we, Travis and I created the Airgun Arc, the Airgun Repository of Knowledge, and it's available to anyone that would like to put their stuff on, hey there, Donald, anybody that would like to put their stuff on Gateway Airguns in that repository is free to do so. The only thing we ask right now is that you embed from Vimeo, because Vimeo isn't tied to Facebook and YouTube. If they terminate your channel and gone is your stuff, then everything that you've posted in the ARC goes away. Now, we are working on a solution that when you post something, our system will grab a copy of that and store it in our server, in our repository. That takes money, frankly, and we're working to make that real. So that's probably 6 months down the road, potentially. But we have these things that are available, and I would like to encourage you guys to make use of these other places in addition to what you're doing on YouTube and Facebook. But if it ever happens where this stuff just poof goes away, and for whatever reason they say, well, you guys are done, there will be a place where everything will already be there, whether it's AirgunWeb.com, Airgun Army, my Vimeo account, which you can just join there and see it there too, or Gateway to Airguns. So I want you guys to know sort of what I've got going on in that frame. And that kind of brings me to another topic. Paul, I will get to your question. So if for some reason I miss it here in the next few minutes and don't get back to it, just remind me, and I'll try and answer that again. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have been watching, but well, obviously last year the SHOT Show was canceled, and I'm really kind of curious if we're going to have SHOT Show this next year with the various issues that people are having with coronavirus. And just set politics aside and conspiracy stuff aside for a moment. I don't know the validity or non-validity of any of that stuff. That's not where I'm coming from, and frankly, I don't care. The reality is that people are getting sick and people are dying. How it happens, why it happens, it's happening, okay? To say it isn't happening is sort of like to say the Holocaust didn't happen. So look, it is happening. The reality of taking hundreds of thousands of people and shoving them in an enclosed space for a week at a time, to me, just doesn't seem real smart at any level. So whether or not we're actually going to have a SHOT Show again, I don't know. We just saw NRA Show cancel at the last minute. I'm getting emails from SHOT Show saying, hey, we've got space, come join us. And normally there's a multi-year waiting list. So I know that, and I don't know if it's public knowledge, so I'm not going to out them because it may not be public, but I know there's a major airgun company that is not going to be at SHOT Show. They've just decided, one, we don't need to be there. Two, it's too expensive. We don't need it. And it puts all of our people at greater risk to bring them into that environment and put them FaceTime, hand time, all of this thing with people for a week. So anyway, it's an odd thing. I don't know if we're going to have SHOT Show again. Maybe we will. I'm not saying any predictions. I have no inside information. I just put it in the I wonder column, which then brings me to the next thing, which is we had Airgun Expo here, which was awesome. That was brought to you by Gateway Airguns and myself here at our range and our facility here in West Texas. We're looking to upgrade that facility. We're looking to create an honest to goodness shooting center here, which is awesome. Be open to those that want to come out and just shoot some air guns. I think that'll be very cool. We're already starting to plan, seeing the NRA show canceled, we're already starting to plan Airgun Expo 2022. So what this means is that over the next few weeks, you're going to hear me and Travis talking a lot about Airgun Expo 2022. We're going to be updating the website, getting it where people, those that want to exhibit can join. We're going to be retooling how we do it. And more importantly, we're going to be streaming the entire show live right on the Airgun Expo website. So rather than people having to find us on Facebook or find us on YouTube, or God forbid they shut us down like they did last year, none of that stuff is going to be what we're dealing with anymore. We're going to have things right on the airgunexpo.com, right on the homepage, and come watch it. And we're really going to be looking to run it like from X in the morning till X in the evening. We'll have something going on, whether it's reviews that are canned reviews or ads or live shows. So we're really going to make this a week-long event, and I'm excited to see what we can do with this coming up next year. So, who knows what's going to happen with SHOT Show? I'm up in the air right now. I may yet go if they have it. but I'm not really sure. I'm personally hoping I don't have to go. One, it's just very expensive because I pay my own way and for all my people to go. If I do go, it'll just be me. I don't see bringing anybody with me. I don't want to put anybody else at risk. But if I need to go for any particular reason, look, I'll seriously consider it. But I'm hoping I don't have to go. I'd rather put our energy and effort into something that's airgun specific. And I'd really like to reach out to smaller boutique airgun manufacturers, parts makers, third-party suppliers of different things, because you guys would never be able to afford a booth at SHOT and make it profitable. You know, you can get and be part of Airgun Expo for a lot less money and get a lot of coverage to the people you really wanted to reach anyway. So I'm hopeful that that's going to go well. So if you guys have any tips or suggestions, please go to the AirgunExpo.com. There's a form at the top. You can send in your suggestions. And we do need to really restructure the whole thing to be far more streamlined and fast paced to get people in, get people out. But I'm excited to see what we're going to be able to do with that. So that is some sort of administrative sort of bookkeeping, so to speak. I want to go back to Paul's question here. So, okay, let's see. Paul is saying, when you get a chance, what do you think of the Diana recoilless scope mounts? I own 3, one for Paris, one for Hatsan, and one for my Tech Force 99. Are you talking about the bullseye mount that has a little spring-loaded system? If that's what you're talking about, I generally like it. Is it as rock steady, locked down, can't move, or have any variances as like a solid mount? No, it's going to have a little variance to it. Is it better than nothing, and does it save scopes? When I used it, I actually really liked it. So I know there's probably some mixed opinions out there, but if you're talking about the bullseye mount, generally I liked it quite a bit. So there you go. Let's see. The Fowler Airgun channel, if things go back to normal, you know, I'd say I'd agree with you, but I'd also go and say, was normal that great? I mean, there was some really crappy stuff happening around normal. So maybe we could go better than normal. I'd like to see a new normal that is just better than it was, frankly. Okay, let's see. So Josh was saying his Gamo SOCOM tap spring has a broken coil spring. The piston seal is also very worn. Can you get me those? Only found, okay. So Joshua, I would say go to Vortex if he's still around. Vortex, I think maybe. Vortex Products. I forgot the gentleman's name. Forgive me. But he made rebuild kits for all that stuff. It's fairly easy to get here locally. And maybe if you want to reach out to me through Airgun Pro Shop or something like that, or just editor@airgunweb.com, maybe I can look the guy up, or maybe I can even get you the parts or send you a link or whatever. But that should be a fairly, I may even have piston seals sitting in a box somewhere in the shop. And I used to rebuild springers all the time. I really actually enjoyed that work. It's a lot of work. You certainly don't make any money doing it, but because if you charge for your time, nobody would pay you to do it. But it really can transform a gun, and I prefer a Springer. One of the things I'm going to talk about in an upcoming video is the myth about gas rams. So you guys stay tuned for that. It may be a great topic to get into. I'm sure I'm going to peeve a few people, but that'll be all right. They'll have to just get over it. I'm going to turn my mic up just a little bit here. All right. Yeah, Paul, I remember he's back on the bullseye mount. I did my video for Pyramid Air on that and did, super slow-mo stuff. It's really cool how that works. I did eventually mine developed a little bit of movement, lateral movement, which obviously if you're bench shooting isn't going to work. But in a sporting hunting sort of general use, it was perfectly stable enough. So I didn't have any problem with that. Let's see. What is your recommended upgraded power kit for the TX200? The same guy was just talking about, Vortex Products. Forgive me, I'm going to have to look him up. Maybe I'll find that stuff and throw it in the description when I write the description for this. He made all of these upgrade kits for these guns. So I would say Tom, first name was Tom, don't remember the last name. But anyway, that was he made a ton of kits. And I believe the TX200 was one of them. He had a PG2 kit, which was really, really good. Had a new piston, new spring guide, all kinds of really cool stuff. And it really made the gun, any spring gun with that kit, made it shoot a whole lot better. Okay. So Gary's asking me, what's my opinion of the Hatsan Vectis? I got one. I reviewed it. I actually bought it, reviewed it myself. If you single loaded it, it shot fine, but for whatever reason, the magazine was deforming the pellets, which the whole idea behind that is you have the underlever, which you can rack your shots real quick. Well, I found it was just all over the map. So if I single loaded it, got great accuracy. If I used the magazine, it was terrible. So fix the mag and don't deform the pellets. It's probably a good shooting gun. I mean, look, Hatsan can make a good gun. They make good barrels. They generally, I mean, the guns can be a little heavy. They can be a little clunky. The refinement isn't there like you're going to get in a higher end gun, but functionally they're very sturdy. I've still got the what was it called? It's that fully automatic, the Blitz. I've still got the Blitz down the shop that I hope to get to here shortly, because that's a video I believe people will want to see. I'm going to be looking at that with the FX chronograph, and I've got some FX slugs in 22 that I thought might be fun to shoot out of that gun. We'll see what it's doing for power wise. If it's not pushing enough power, I'm not going to waste the slugs in it, but I've got some other ideas on what I'm going to do for slugs. So anyway, what's a good red dot to go on the Swarm Fusion? Probably any of those guns are going to be hard on red dots. You can try a Hawk and hope that holds up. They do have a lifetime warranty. I don't know if they'll honor it if you put it on a Springer though. So not sure on that one. Red dots are tough. Now what you could do though is get like a 1:6 scope with a so you don't have any zoom, so your eye relief is super easy to deal with, but you've got a little dot. Now it's expensive, but like the Endurance 1:6, maybe more than you want to spend. They may have a lesser model. I'm also going to take a look at West Hunter, which is the scopes that Travis has been talking about. I actually have been looking those up, and they have a interesting sample. I'm going to get a couple samples to look at, and another scope thing I'll talk about in just a second. But they have some interesting options that seem to be very aggressively priced, and I would just say buy them direct, because there's zero margins for dealers to stock and sell those scopes. But West Hunter may be something we'll look at. But as far as a pure red dot, I don't know that I know of one that's going to hold up and work like you want. So I would go with a scope that has a 1-to-something magnification that's illuminated, gives you the same function, but the scope may hold up better than just say a factory stock red dot. Okay, so another question here. What do you think of the DAR 22 for a youth gun? Well, interestingly enough, Dynamic Air Rifles is supposed to have sent me a demo gun for review now for months. In fact, now that you bring it up, I need to talk to them, because my guess is that it's a pretty solid gun, but I have no experience, so I don't know. The same is going to be same thing's going to be for the AEA guns. I would like to try those out. And AEA, if you're listening, you know where I'm at. You know, it's pretty easy to get a hold of me. As I said, as I continue to say, I'm not going to pay you for the joy to promote your guns. If you would like me to review and tell people about your products, just send them to me. It's really easy. It's not hard. We're not talking rocket science. Let's see. Angelo, if you get another stimulus check, get a Blitz. Yeah, you know what I'm interested to see on the Blitz? I got the 22 because, well, that's the caliber I wanted, but I'm curious to see what kind of accuracy I'm going to get. I mean, real repeatable accuracy. I know it cycles wonderfully. I mean, it rips. I don't know anything about the Holson red dots, the Holosun red dots, so not sure on that. But I'm back on the Blitz. I know that the function of the full auto and semi-auto works really well. The trigger pull is horrible, but I just take that with a grain of salt. I wasn't expecting a match grade trigger in that gun. So I'm going to save the rest of it for my full review on that, and I think it'll be a pretty cool review, and I think you guys will get some stuff out of it. So there you go. As far as pellet availability, guys, it is what it is. If you see them, buy them. If you have the opportunity to pre-order, pre-order. Don't wait to have them on the shelf, or you just got to get in line. If you are looking for a couple tins of something, airgunproshop.com, if we have them, we'll let you buy 2 tins a month. That way everybody gets to shoot. So that's pretty simple. Go to the website, fill out the form, say, hey, I want to buy some pellets. And if we have them in stock, we're happy to sell them to you. 2 tins per customer per month is what we're allowing right now. So, all right. Let's see. Yeah, I've seen some of those videos. I'm curious to see how it's going to work for me. So I'll see. I'm just curious to see how it's going to work out. Let's see. Have you guys seen the new AirArms? And I was going to bring this, I'm going to pop this up over here. This is one of the things I want to talk about. Pop this up right there. So this is the new AirArms, guys. Now I won't be able to see the chat while I'm looking at this, so forgive me for that. But AirArms has a new tactical S510 XS. So it's called the AirArms XS Tactical. This to me is way stinking cool. I have got one coming hopefully near the end of September. They're talking about me. I should be getting one. So if all that works out, I'll be doing a review of this gun as soon as I can get my hands on it. So I'm excited about that. Available in 177, 22, 25. For those that are wondering, is it going to have any like major jump in power, anything like that? No, I actually don't expect we're going to have some big, huge jump in power or anything. We're going to be basically it's an S510 in a tactical stock. And to me, it just looks gorgeous. To me, that is just really, really gorgeous. I cannot wait to get my hands on one of these. And there's a little bit of a secret. I'm going to hold off saying anything right now until I confirm with the folks at AirArms. But if what I heard them say originally stands true, it's going to make AirArms owners very, very happy. So I'm excited about that gun coming out. So keep your eyes open for that. Again, I'm hoping to get mine by the end of September. Let's see. We got some of the questions here. Let's see. The 2 tins are the same size or 2 tins totals. They're going to be 2 tins total. So if you want a 25 and a 30, it's 2 tins. So you got to pick what you want. And I'm writing probably, I don't know, I'm writing a bunch of custom invoices every day for people wanting pellets. And at some point, you know, we're going to run out. So we have quite a few people coming and buying those pellets. We ship them out USPS flat rate, a little small flat rate box. And at least you'll be able to shoot. So I know people would love to buy a case or something, but I would love to buy a case, but it is what it is. I'm barely able to keep a few pellets in house just to keep some orders going out, or when we do builds for people at Airgun Pro Shop, wanting to be able to give them some pellets with their order. Else, why have me do all the whole build? So anyway, is AirArms ever going to do a 30 cal? I have not heard anything specifically from them on that. It's really not their wheelhouse, guys. It's just not their thing. We'll see what they do. They do exceptionally well, and we'll see if they go beyond that. Let's see. Oh, any other questions here? Yes, David, you did call it, but you didn't hear it from me. We'll see what happens if they're able to do that. Got my first PC, Walther Rain 22. All right, so the Walther Rain is actually a favorite of mine. I have the 25. I had the 22, which I should be getting back. Travis took it and did some work for Umrex with it, and he's supposed to be getting it back to me. The Walther Rain's a favorite gun of mine. Is it regulated? No. Is it is it as refined and fancy as all the others? No, it's affordable. It's German made at $600, and it shoots really good. You just stay within the shot curve, and it's a wonderful shooting gun. I really like it. I love the way it shoulders. For me, it's one of my favorite bullpups. I have these weird guns I like, guys. Like, I like the Rain, which is not like the highest level of performance in bullpupping, whatever. And I like it's Walther again, the Walther Maxima Thor. Again, not the most powerful, not the most accurate, but I just really like that gun. I got to pull mine out. I've got one. Maybe I'll do a retro review of that Maxima Thor again. Because, man, it's just chunky and beefy and got a big bolt. And it's just, I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. I'll have to pull that out. I know exactly where it is. I'll pull that out of my Connex and maybe we'll do a retro review, just kind of turning back the dial on a gun. I don't even know if you can buy it anymore, but it's just such a nice gun. I love it. Let's see. I just got a Hotsun Alpha. I hit 891 FPS with a 7-grain RWS. If you just got it and it's just brand new, let it break in a little bit. It may still be dieseling. So, but if you've got 200 rounds to it, it's still doing that. Great. But it should settle down to that, sub 500 feet per second. Let's see what else we got here. Full auto Zeus. Wow. Okay. That would be nice. Here's a question for you guys. I'll throw this out for you. Now, at what point does creating air guns with the same or similar performance of firearms become counterproductive? Now, granted, Rob, if you diesel or if the gun's dieseling, it could do double. Just shoot it a few hundred times to see if it settles down. If it doesn't, I don't know what's going on. I haven't dealt with Hotsun in that capacity for years, so I don't know. Here's a question for you guys. We have guns that are going to be like these guns that are going to be pushing 1,500 foot-pounds. Okay, so you really should be able to kill anything you want to kill in North America with 500 or 600 foot-pounds, and really, if someone that knows what they're doing should be able to do it with 200 or 300 foot-pounds. So when you start pushing the envelope into these 1,000 plus, oh, sorry, my nose itches, these 1,000 plus foot-pound guns, what really are you doing? Now, granted, if I could buy one, I would. I mean, I would have one if I could have one. So I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed at all. Angelo, I think that you're sort of hitting my point, right? So air guns are inherently not a good choice for someone to go do bad stuff with, because one, they're expensive, two, they require a ton of support equipment, and they have a very limited output. I mean, you only get so many shots and you're going to hand pump it real fast or something. I mean, it's just not a practical use scenario. But I do wonder if all of the race for more power isn't just setting air gunners and the entire air gun community up for problems going forward. Because I will just tell you, the ATF, they know about air guns. They're not ignorant to it. They know about air gun moderators. They know about suppressors that we use on our air guns. They are not ignorant to any of that. I want to just tell you right now, they know about it. We're not under anybody's radar. Okay, just realize we're not under anybody's radar. We are fully on everybody's radar. Okay, so to think that we're not is very, very presumptuous, and it's just not true. We're on everybody's radar. The thing is, how big of a blip do we want to make? And that's my question. Not that I don't want to stop progress. I think building things, just the sheer engineering, I am impressed by it. I think it's awesome. But I do wonder the practicality of it going forward, and whether or not this race to the biggest, use a different word, the biggest barrel, energy, whatever, isn't going to cause problems for us, and maybe even in the short term. So I just caution people about it. And yeah, God forbid somebody go do something stupid. That would be really tragic. First of all, it would be tragic for anyone on the other side of their stupidity. First and foremost, that is what I would be concerned about. And secondly, just what it would mean for the industry. Because the bigger the blip gets, then the more attention you draw. But just to people, please do not think we are under anybody's radar. We are fully on the radar. Absolutely. David, on the twist rates and stuff, I don't, and smooth twist, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I don't follow that stuff. I get into hot water with people because I don't clean my barrels. Look, I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'll clean the barrel when it doesn't shoot right. If it shoots good and it's shooting well, why touch it? I might screw something up. I just leave it be. If it was shooting well and now isn't, then I'll go clean my barrel and see what that is. So, and David, I think you're right. Dave Farrow, that is, as things go more towards firearm performance or black powder performance, any of this stuff, we're setting ourselves up for some real problems. I personally like air guns because they're air guns, because they have a different performance level, because I think, the hammer and some of these guns that are 600, 700, 800 foot-pounds are already kind of pushing, already sort of pushing the envelope of what I personally, personal opinion, guys, personal opinion, is kind of pushing things to a level where we're pushing the envelope. Now, granted, there's some people that can't own a firearm, so if they want to go hunt an 800-pound hog, look, you're going to need a 1,500-pound air gun. I get it, but that is rare. I mean, most of the hunting of hogs I've ever done are between 200 and 300 pounds, at the biggest 300 pounds, and so most of them are 100 to 200 pounds, and that is squarely in the realm of what we already have, easily able to do. Took a really nice hog on. If you go back and look at my channel and those Winchester promos I did for Gamo Daisy, I shot a really nice hog of 180, 190 pounds ish, sow. With that, it was a 45 doing about 200 foot-pounds. So, you don't need 800 foot-pounds to take a 200-pound pick. You don't. You do need to get in close. You do need to make a good shot. All of those things kind of you need to do anyway. So, guys, I throw it out there. I mean, I'm not the be-all, end-all of these things. I mean, people want to build something that goes to the moon with an air gun. I don't care. But it does sort of make sense to me to think of the consequences that might be on the other side of that. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we've got a lot of things happening here in the chat. Let's see. A lot of people talking amongst themselves. Okay. So Dave's asking how Sue is. Dave and I used to be, we're still buds. We just haven't talked in a long time. I moved and all things happened, and we just haven't been in contact. But Sue's doing really well. Naomi, I don't know if you've seen her lately, but she's she may be as tall as me by the time she's full grown. So that might be a little bit crazy, but she's growing like crazy. But yeah, it's been, we're doing really well. Thanks for asking. All right, so Jerry's got a question here, and Dave's got a question. I'm going to talk about that, Dave, on the Iguana thing. Jerry's saying, I have a Nomad 2. Where can I find the pressure test plug? Check on Pyramid Air and see if they have parts. That's the first place I would check. And then I'll bet you could find one on Amazon. Those are like my guesses I would go to. Dave's asking if I've got any footage. Yeah, David. So Dave Farrow's asking about videos on the iguana hunt. Well, the iguana hunt was way cool fun. I did all the filming, didn't do but a couple shooting things. I did get the largest one on the second day. Is the one I took. Beautiful iguana. And then we had iguana dinner Tuesday night, which was kind of fun. I do have all the footage. I haven't started putting that together yet. don't know if you guys own anybody here owns businesses, but the end of the month slash first of the month is always admin hell. So you have bookkeeping and accounting and everything that you have to get done to make Uncle Sam happy. So that's what I'll be finishing up from last week to this week. And then I'll be working on those videos. And I may have my sister Cheryl, who does some of my editing, and did all of my editing last year, but I've been having her work on getting the Airgun Expo videos wrapped up, which on that front, just to circle back around for a second. All of the Airgun Expo videos, she's been editing the footage, trying to fix the audio and creating links to everything so that we're going to be republishing all of that content on the Gateway to Airguns YouTube page and also on gatewaytoairguns.org. So if you guys missed any of that, excuse me, we're going to have it in a better edited format, which you guys be able to hear some of the dialogue better. And we go into this next go round with Airgun Expo. We're really going to be refining our production quality so that we don't have some of the issues we had in the past. So hopefully that'll be all of that'll be sorted out. Yeah, Donald, I'll here's my take on it. This is I've been around a little bit, specifically back in the mid 90s when Clinton was in office. We're going to get off topic here, forgive me. It's funny, I met a lot of people that didn't want to pay taxes for their own personal reasons. They didn't want to pay taxes because they didn't like this what the government doing. They didn't support that. It was against their faith or whatever. And hey, that's their choice. But when you make a stand like that, the value of the stand is the willingness to stand in the consequences of the stand. So if you're an activist, which is essentially what they were, an activist longs to be put into jail and suffer for their activism. I never met any of the patriot guys that were ever willing to do that. Now, they didn't want to pay taxes, but they were willing to use the government's money. They didn't want to pay state taxes, but they were willing to drive on the roads. They wanted all the benefits that come from being a citizen, but didn't want to support the citizenry. So that's I know it's a big topic and that's overly simplified. But hey, if I'm using the government's money and their monetary system, I'll pay my taxes and I'll be happy and pleased to do it. I just got to do the paperwork, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but I will do it. All right. So another Donald's asking, here in the UK, an air rifle exceeds 12 foot-pounds of energy, you're required to have a firearms certificate. Yes, you are. And Donald Thompson, that is, we have states here in the US that consider air guns firearms too. So it's a little different. We're kind of strange here in the US as compared to everywhere else in the world. But states have the ability to make their own rules. And so like here in Texas, if you like guns and you like that environment, Texas is great. Yeah, Donald, you're a bean counter. Well, if you ever want an accounting job and want to run 3 or 4 businesses for me, give me a call. Maybe you can come out of retirement and help out over here. All right. So, but there are some states here. The other Donald, there are some states here that that also consider guns or air guns a firearm, and you have to get a firearms license to buy them. You have to go through background check and everything. So it's not like it is in the UK where you can't even get I mean, you can apply, but I don't think you can really get a firearm certificate, really, unless you know people or pay a lot of money. I don't know how it works over there. But it's still relatively, I mean, there's a process here, but you can buy a gun if you jump through the various hoops. But it is getting more and more difficult for sure. Certainly not the same. Hey there, Daniel. Hope you're doing well, man. All right, Donald. So if you're an old bean counter and you're here in Texas, West Texas, outside El Paso, come, we'll shoot some air guns and I'll show you all the accounting work you can come help with. So Texas is like a whole other country. It's funny living here. Well, I've got to let me do this. I think what I'm going to do is maybe I'll write an article to sort of launch my new web page that'll should be a couple weeks, and I'll put some pictures of where I live, because I don't think you guys really will get the breadth of where I happen to live in Texas. Because if you were to come to visit me and come shoot here at the range, come visit Airgun Pro Shop, we're 19 miles from the interstate. So from my place, well, 18 and a half, from my place to the interstate is either pipeline road, dirt road, all the way till you hit the El Paso County line, and then the road's pretty good, but it's 12 and a half miles of just horrible roads, maybe a little bit more, before you actually get to, maybe it's probably more, it's probably 14 miles of horrible roads until you actually get to something that's worth driving on. Yeah, Donald, come on out, man. We'll have fun. But it is, we live way out in nowhere. So, all right. So let's see. Yeah, Daniel, if you see me on Google Maps, you can see we are way out of nowhere. But the reason I was getting to that is that I love it here. I love the fact that I have my own range. I have my own shooting area. I have my own workshop. I can go out and just, heck, if I wanted to, I could, yeah, leaving Cali for Texas, you're not the only one. If I wanted to go shoot at night, I can just go out there and shoot at night. I don't have neighbors to call anybody, and it's just really nice out here. A tremendous amount of freedom that way. And I know, dog, I don't know what dog men are. So, Harold, forgive me on that one. I enjoy it. You know, not everybody has that. I certainly, when I lived in the city, I didn't have that. But I do have it now, and I'm very happy to have it. So it's very, very cool. Okay, let's see. We talked about the AirArms XS Tactical. We talked about the NRA show being canceled. What's going to happen coming up with SHOT Show. I'm still curious on that. I mean, I'll get my tags, and if I need to go, I'll go, but I'm really hoping I don't have to. We talked about iguana hunting. Well, we talked about the video anyway. You know, one of the things I was going to talk about, and somebody brought it up on the most recent TX200 video. I don't know if you guys caught that, but it launched yesterday. I'm going to be looking at sort of the myths of gas rams. Here's my theory. Just my theory. It's hard to build a quality spring. The tolerances of all the parts have to be pretty good. And everything to work well, not buzz and not have unnecessary vibration and all that. You do have to do, some more engineering to make that happen. I have a gun, I don't think you can buy them anymore, but I have a Walther LGV in 177, and it is, and I remember they had this, I wish I'd saved it. They had this whole PDF flash demo thing of their whole mindset of spring by choice. They could have built the gun with a gas ram, but they built it with the spring. They found that when they measured it, the recoil was reduced with a spring, that the lock time that everybody complains about needing to be better in the spring, the gas ram so much better, was margin of error, not any better or worse with a spring to a gas ram. They did design some pretty incredible engineering to mitigate any torque or unnecessary vibration. That gun shoots so nicely. Now, it was very expensive, and I think that is the rub. Okay, so I remember when gas rams first came out. Okay, it was just a few years. Well, I say first came out, became mainstream. How's that? Okay, not going to take anything away from the stuff that existed 3 decades ago. I'm just talking about when gas ram became, the nitro piston became mainstream. a lot of guns that adopted it very quickly were cheap springers. And the reason is they didn't have to fix their engineering. They could just drop a gas ram in it, and it made the gun feel like it was shooting better. It really didn't shoot better. It was still sloppy. It still had issues, still had reverse recoil, still had all, it didn't have the torque. That is one thing that this gas ram did eliminate. But here's the thing. With a gas ram, when it develops a leak, you're done. I mean, you're done. I've had probably 5-to-1 gas rams just fail sitting in storage. I've never had a springer fail sitting in storage. I have had springs wear out. I've had a broken spring, but I've never just had one sitting on the shelf go bad. And I've had many, many gas rams sitting on the shelf just go bad. So the reason I think that there was this massive run to gas ram is it allowed manufacturers to sort of fool people into thinking their guns were better than they were. My 2 cents. You didn't have the buzz because there wasn't anything to buzz, but it's not like they improved the rest of the gun that needed to be improved for the gun to really shoot well. So I like a Springer. I like that I can take it apart. I can lube it. I can do a lot of things with a Springer you can't do with a gas ram. And I can tune a Springer up to shoot very, very nicely and very consistently. And like Tom over at Vortex Products and stuff, if he's still kicking and doing his stuff, he had some wonderful upgrade kits, just drop-in kits for Springers that really did really, really well. So we're going to get, I will do a video on that and talk a little bit about it, but I personally prefer a Springer over a gas ram. There was this mad dash to the gas ram. I think, unfortunately so. I wish manufacturers had just made better spring air guns than running to something that just covered up their poor engineering. Again, my 2 cents. All right. A little shorter lock time with gas rams, and I think it depends on the ram, depends on the gun, depends on the spring. But this is where, again, Walther did their work, and it was, again, margin of error, negligible difference between the two. That was what I thought was so funny. So let me show, there we go. All right, sorry, apologies. Some of these are going fast through here, and I have to hit OK, and I know I missed a couple, so forgive me. Let's see. Angela, I'm literally 50 feet outside city line where the ordinance says no BB gun, pellet gun, guns can be discharged to city limits. Our county allows it as long as you don't shoot into something, I guess. Okay, Noah, here's a good question. And Noah's a customer of the Pro Shop, so I recognize you. Hey, how you doing, Noah? Is there any way to get a suppressor to work with an Evan Rex 50? Noah, I would go look up Donnie FL out of Florida, check with him. The legality of it's going to depend on where you live and how they see suppressors. Some states have made any suppression of anything illegal, whether it's integrated or not. So you need to figure that out. If you're in a state that doesn't monitor or regulate airgun moderators, you may be okay. It's probably still a gray area. There's no absolute yes, it's okay that I can give you. Because it is a suppressor. It is. Do with it what you will. And people can argue all they want about it's not under a BATF jurisdiction. I don't care. Argue all you want. But if you're facing a prosecutor that thinks you have a suppressor, you may be 100% right. And good luck proving it. And I hope you have something left over in the bank when they're done. So it is a gray area. I say people take it with a grain of salt, do your research, make an informed decision. But obviously, Donnie makes them, they sell them. Airgun moderators are sold all over the place. So that's another thing, guys. It's not under the radar. It is squarely on the radar. Please be aware. It's squarely on the radar. How big of a blip it's making on the radar, that's a different story. But don't think that we're somehow under the radar. No, we're not. Not at all. So Noah, look up Donnie FL out of on online. I know he makes moderators for the Rex line of guns. I don't sell them. I don't sell the adapters. He does, and I know that people have done some really cool stuff with their Rex guns and other Evanex guns in that capacity. Let's see here, just a second here. All right. Hey there, Break Bro. Let's see. Daniel saying he's got his first gas ram back 2014, the Benjamin Trail, all weather, and to date, no problem. Love it. Well, you got a good one, Daniel. That's great. I think the best thing you could do with them is use them. I think leaving them sit may have been part of the problem, but hey, it stinks when you go to pick up a gun and go to use it and they ain't got no juice left. That's no fun at all. The nitro pistons are harder to cock because there is no there's no like soft and then hard, and a gas ram is just hard to begin with. Maybe I'm just old school. Maybe I just don't like change. I don't know. I prefer Springer. I prefer a tuned Springer to just about anything that is in that category. And I don't know if you guys would want to see like a full tune, like an old school tune of a Springer or something. That might be kind of a fun video to do live. Gosh, that's scary to do that one live because you don't. I mean, all kinds of things can go wrong, but that might be kind of fun. Anything 20 cal? No, I don't have anything 20 cal. And I know I love saying this to folks. Just give up on the 20 cal. Just call it a day. It's not coming back. It's not. There's not enough volume or demand for it. Move on. 22, 25. There are other things that you can get that I granted the ballistics aren't as good. Yeah, I know all that. But just to let you know, the 20 is dead. It's not coming back. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy to be wrong. But that's talking to pellet manufacturers, the 20 is dead. Heath is saying, I've never shot a high-end spring gun, don't like the artillery hold. Is the Diana 54 Air King Pro a good option with the sled design? The Air King Pro is weird. I'd love to own one. I'd love to review one. I've never actually reviewed one. I've shot them, and Pyramid Air or Air Venturi had a special edition one, and I was an idiot and didn't buy it when I saw it, and I should have just got it because it was a gorgeous red laminate stock and everything. The 54 is... it's an interesting gun. Can I say it's not at all hold sensitive? No, it still is, but it's just weird. It just feels so weird. I wish I could describe it. It's sort of like just shudders. It doesn't have any movement. It just shakes and then it's done. So it's pretty cool. I think that would be, if you don't want the artillery hold, you just want a nice gun. That's probably, can't go wrong with that gun. Probably a good one. Let's see. Yeah, Michael's saying that the gray area, probably back on the suppressors again. I bet you it is. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, man. Let's see. So Pez, let's see. With Airguns, most of the time, you get what you pay for. There are always some excessive values depending on use. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. I was writing an article today. In case you guys don't know, I don't write all of the articles, but I write a good volume of the articles that you guys will be seeing, will have seen on Airgun Depot over the last year or so. I write 6 or so articles a month, or 5 articles in a definitive guide. I was writing an article today on some of the budget guns. Like I was comparing the Marauder to the Avenger to the Gauntlet, specifically the Gauntlet 2. And I think the best built gun of all of those is probably the Marauder. It's not the most feature rich, but it probably has the best build quality, the best trigger assembly, the best engineering of the guns in the sense of fit and finish and everything. I just wish they would modernize its function, make it have like the functions of the Avenger instead of just being this sort of stagnant design they've had forever. Anyway, let's see. The Avenger and a tactical, that would be very cool. A tac stock with an AR attack forearm with an AR stock, maybe a collapsible stock. If they could maybe get cattleman guns or one of these Turkish places to create the bottom half of the stock with the folding stock, that would be kind of a cool thing for the Avenger. The Avenger's a great platform. If you want something that's tunable, reliable, accurate, good power, the Avenger's just, it's a no-brainer. Personally, I'm going to gravitate to the Gauntlet 2 because once I turn my gun up, I don't ever touch it. So once I tune it for max efficiency, that's max power, max shot count, I just leave it. And the new G2, it's that out of the box. You don't know how to touch it. And it is really nice to shoot. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. I want to get the 25 I had was Umarex's gun that went back to them, so that's done. And then I'm hoping to get one that'll be mine permanently. And I'm looking to do the same video comparison I did with the Avenger 25 and the Gauntlet 22. I'm looking to the Gauntlet 25. I want to do the same thing with the 22. So I need a G2 22, and then I can make that happen. So I know you guys said you liked that comparison video, so I'm looking to do another one of those. It's pretty fun. Let's see. Yeah, Angela was asking if the Avenger is okay. Let me back up here. Paul, the nicest look, the 20, there are some beautiful 20s. Beeman made some great 20s. The R9 and the 20 is probably just gorgeous. It's just as you're finding ammo, it's hard to get. So gentleman was asking, can air gun be used for self-protection? It's not my first choice. It just isn't for many, many reasons. If you have no other option, there are probably some that are useful. I'm not going to get into that on this show because we're out of time, but maybe we should do an entire show on air guns for self-defense and what that sort of market is not the right word, what that looks like today, because there are some guns that pack quite a bit of a wallop today that are in a small, reliable form factor that, kind of are beginning to really blur those lines. So maybe, let's see. Angela's asking, is the Avenger the one that has a problem with having to shim the scope? Yeah. Specifically for me, it's been the Woodstock one. So, and I posted on Facebook, and I think I posted a comment on my video that I had taken the rail off and cleaned the where the rail sits, remounted the rail, thought it felt better, like more secure, like it locked into place better. Put the scope back on, I'm still off. I have to use shim. So something is off with that. I've reached out to Air Venturi, and frankly, I haven't heard back from them on this problem. I don't know if they're working out a solution or what they're doing, but I have not. I'm going to reach out again to them again because, yeah, if you buy even though the gun's affordable at $430, to put a scope on it and not be able to shoot the gun, that's not great. I mean, I wish I didn't have to say that, but it is what it is. I mean, it should just work. You shouldn't have to be, creatively engineering your scope to be able to get on target. You shouldn't have to do that. So we'll see. So let's see here. All right, things are blowing fast here. Let's see. Good. I'm glad you haven't had any problem with your 22. I had mixed results. I have to test the rest of the inventory I have in the pro shop. I haven't had a chance to do that. It's on my list of things to do this week, early next week, is to go through each of the guns I have, put a scope on it, and see if I'm having the same issue. I may just return them. I don't want to sell a gun to somebody that isn't right. I just don't want to do that. Let's see. Yeah, the Sheridans are a great example of a 20 cal that's awesome for sure. Let's see. I guess that's going to be it. We've gone our hour and a bit. I thank you guys for joining us or joining me tonight. Travis was supposed to be here, but he's actually at his job here in Texas. Travis is moving to Texas. He's in that process. So that'll be cool. when he's here, we're going to be able to do a lot more stuff actually in person together. So I'm excited about that. That'll be cool. But he wasn't able to join me tonight. So next week, I hope to actually be down in the studio. And more than likely, next week is going to be on Facebook because I want to demo the new Borescope I got, actually look at some guns and see what they look like on the inside and do all that kind of fun stuff. So I'll be handling air guns, and pardon me, YouTube had a hairy fit when we did that and terminated our stream midstream. What fun that was in the middle of the expo. Anyway, my hope is that we'll get to do that next week. It'll be me, and I'll show you guys the Borescope and some other cool stuff. Some review things coming up that I have in the works. Obviously, the Blitz I want to get to. One quick thing I will tell you, really short on the Evanex stuff. We got our shipment of Evanex stuff in. I got sort of processed before I went out of town on my Iguana hunt. We're shipping orders. We shipped a whole bunch of stuff this week. We still have 50 cal pistols, 50 cal rifles. I tried the new valve, the new tanks with the rifle, 50 cal rifles with the 336 grain hunter supplies. That little short carbine rifle, 50 cal rifles, doing 330 foot-pounds in that tiny little light package. So that to me is stinking awesome. So 336 grain slug doing 330 foot-pounds. That is just impressive. So I want to do a video of that gun showing the different ammos that we have and the velocities and power, but that is just awesome. So we have a few of those in stock. We have the last resorts in stock. We've got, I haven't put up the site yet, but we've got more 45 cal snipers. We've got some 35 cal Maximals. So we'll be updating everything. We also have more carbon fiber tanks. And for you guys that wanted a carbon fiber tank or a tank with a 35 cal valve system, we got 35 cal valves, so I can make those up for you guys. So we have all of that. I'll be adding them to the website here shortly. But that's it for now. Guys, thank you so much. Please, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And also remember, AirgunWeb, Airgun Army, gateway to airguns.org. If you want to see my stuff and know that it's not going to be yanked, pulled, censored, or otherwise removed, you always can check it out there. So I asked you to go and check that out. We're probably going to be bringing back our monthly newsletter with all the links and everything that goes on. So we're really going to start leveraging our own stuff so that we can communicate with everybody that perchance something stupid happens with YouTube and Facebook, it's not really going to hurt us. All of our stuff's still going to be there for our sponsors, for you guys, and for our viewers, customers, all kind of stuff will happen. Guys, that's going to be it. Thank you for hanging out with me and blowing another hour. We'll see